Ganked
Start
IRL.
to the podcast.
Yeah, I know. I actually got ganked.
Ganked IRL.
But
Wait, did we want to do an intro or?
yeah, I forgot how to host. Hey folks, welcome to the Proxy Podcast. Hey, it's your hosts. Let's start with that one over there, aka Age.
Oh, wrong order on the screen.
Sorry,
Okay,
yeah,
hello.
yeah.
Hello, I am the sick one. I'm HKK on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, wherever you might find me, and I hi. I mean,
Hello.
hello. Sorry,
are you?
like I said, I'm a bit sick right now, so if I sound congested and dead, that's why. But yeah, I play
Is it
lots
just
of
like a
Zenless.
cold?
I don't know what it is, honestly, but my throat is inflamed as hell right now, so
Oh, damn.
it's rough. But
Literally the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's okay. Gacha heals me, so I play lots of gacha, and you can find me doing reactions and streaming the games, and sometimes singing when I am not sick. Hi.
And how about Az?
Hello, my name is Azrial Vanity. I stream on YouTube and Twitch. I mostly do Zenless lore. Started Variety for a little bit and then haven't been able to play Expedition 33 in a long time, which I really want to fix because I miss it. I miss it real bad. I want to start it again really, really badly. So soon I'll get back to that. But
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's me.
And hello, folks. I am the last one. It is me. It is I. You just call me Josh. I know Jshoea. It reads weird. Have I ever addressed that with us here?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I just remember the first time I saw your username. It took me forever to figure out how to pronounce it.
Yep.
I
I was
know.
like,
Me too.
Jshoea, Jshoea.
Yeah.
I tried to go into your stream and find a moment where you said your name so I could be like, yes, that's what it is.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, Mr. Shu, they call me Jay. They call me Jshoea. I mean, honestly, all of them work. I don't really mind at this point because, I understand Jshoea isn't the most, phonetically. Anyways, regardless.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Me too. I've Ajax, Agek, Agap, blah, 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 blah. Sorry. Mr. Shu, continue.
Yeah, but we do the Zenless thing here. We do the zoning, and of course a lot of zeros here, many zeros.
Right.
Yeah, and I've been wanting and actually been branching out a little bit more. I've been making a lot more of an effort to play some other games. You guys have seen us play Peak, of course. You guys have seen me play Uma Musume, which I have something to talk about for that later. And Genshin, which I literally, before this podcast, just finished the last major quest of Natlan and 5.x.
Hell yeah. Was it good?
It was, how should I say this? No. I think this is like an overall net good thing. What I'm about to say. It was a not so good way to end Natlan. But it was a really fun way, and interesting, ties and nods from here and there throughout the quest to get us excited and start us in Nod Krai. Yeah,
I got you.
So
yes,
it was
the characters that they showed on that did look unbelievably cool.
Yes.
I'm actually gonna
They
come
were
back
kind of
to Genshin
cooking
because
on
of Nod Krai.
Yeah,
They poked me
Really?
from
Like
marketing.
fully?
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna I'll try it and play it and see if I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because I still have to get through all of the rest of Natlan, but I'll probably just do that on stream or pray that they have a skip button to the new region.
They should.
Which they have done
Well,
for
I
previous
think they-
regions, though.
I thought they fully added the skip button. No, I thought.
Usually when they have a new region, they don't have a skip button implemented, but if they have a new region, they usually let you skip to it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. The skip ahead thing. Wait, I could have
Yeah.
sworn there was people were like, "Oh my god, finally they added a skip button." No,
That was HSR.
or was that to HSR?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, they just are.
Oh, okay. My bad. Mixing up the games now.
No, you're all good. Yeah, kind of back to the Genshin point, because I know as you kind of like, if Josh is going back and Nate is going back, should I come back too? I genuinely think that Nod, here's the thing, give it a chance, because I feel like Nod Krai and a lot of creators are really trying to like pick it back up again, because it does seem like a reestablishment of like order, like a renaissance almost of Genshin.
Yeah.
From all aspects. Like you have the story, the lore. They've already like made notes and nods. They haven't done the actual dev talk about it yet, but they are looking to bolster up even just the storytelling itself. So questing is going to be good. I can't speak to exploration, but characters are going to be really, really good. They're all super hot.
Yeah, they are.
They are super hot.
Yeah,
I can
they're
definitely
so
agree to that.
Yeah. And I've made this nod before in my own chat, but I think, you know, Age will pick this up very well. Nod Krai is looking to be Genshin's version of Penacony. Think about it. With all these different players coming from different factions and different nods coming together in this region where you have this melting pot of different characters and different factions and different motives, right? For this overarching new storyline. You get your centralizing character to be that force of connectivity between those personalities, and you just get such a very unique blend of connections and interpersonal relationships and, you know, thus character growth, that I think that's what made Penacony so successful versus just having a singular theme. Not to say that singular themes don't work, but, you know, that's the magic of what Penacony had, where you have Genshin and you have the Fatui, you have the Harbingers, then you have the Light Keepers, and you have the what is it, the whatever order,
Wait, the Light Keepers.
Yeah.
Who are they?
I think the Light Keepers are I just know the new dude, the one with who looks kind of emo. He's a Light Keeper, right?
Yeah.
Because he had a lamp in the trailer.
Wait, the dude with the lamp? Oh, okay. I know him. I saw him.
I
don't know the title of Lightkeeper, but I do know that guy.
Yeah. Flins. And, you know, you have the innate Nod Krai characters, right? You have your Robin and your Sunday, whereas you have the Acherons coming in, right? You have Columbina coming in, you have Sandrone coming in, potentially. Yeah, we have Dottore coming in, you know, and then we also have Varka coming in. We have AK, like our version of Aventurine, legit. Like he is like super buff, you know, Aventurine, and it's just like the nods are so there. Yeah, the nods are so there. The structure to me is almost like so blatant. Like, I think hopefully if they can, you know, weave it into the amazing lore that they're already setting up, it should be a very, very good story and just experience. Because like I talk about story, sure, story's good, but was the questing experience that good? No, I had to do an hour of temple tutorial. I had to do a miasma tutorial for another hour. Right. But I think overall the experience, it seems to be leveling up quite a bit.
I'm excited. I'm excited. For me with the story, it's the story, I guess, that appeals to me the most, because again, like for me, like I felt like Natlan kind of took a much different direction from where I anticipated the story to go from before Natlan. And then Nod Krai seems like it's kind of like bringing it back to that place of kind of dark, intense lore vibes, for lack of a better term. So I'm willing to come back and see if it's fun and good, and if I'm gonna like it, because I really loved so much looking at Genshin lore back in the past when I did play the game. So hopefully it'll be good. I'm especially looking forward to all the new characters, though. They also look really good.
They do. I will say they do all look really good. I'm not going to play it, but I'm excited to see people talk about them.
We could have convinced him.
Az is putting his foot down now.
I know. That's crazy.
Az is like, I'm not doing it, but
yeah, I just got to keep it real now. I can't be like, yeah, I'm going to go back. I'm not going back.
No, okay. I get you. No,
I even tried. I even did I think it was before Fontaine came out. I started a whole new series. I did a whole thumbnail thing for it. It was Genshin, like second Samsara. and it was me like replaying on an entirely new account to like catch up to the game, and then I was gonna keep up with it once Fontaine came out.
Yeah.
And I didn't even finish Mondstadt in that new account, and I stopped. I immediately stopped the series. So I have learned to not give people false hope on that.
At least you gave it a shot.
You didn't give it a shot. Yeah. But, you know, again, sorry to start with Genshin. Hey, this is supposed to be a ZZ oriented podcast. We haven't had a podcast since 2.1 started.
Correct.
I mean, what do we want to talk about first? The story?
We can talk about everything, to be honest.
Immediately, the first thing would be story, I would assume. I feel like that's the best thing to do. Specifically, I would like to point out the fact that on one of the previous podcasts, I had shown my worry how in one of the dev interviews, they talked about how they wanted to start doing more, what's the actual word for it? Environmental storytelling.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not looking forward to that if that means that it's going to be less comics. I was very, very happy with how they did the environmental storytelling in this. They absolutely said, hey, this is what it's going to look like. And I was like, oh, okay, you're kind of cooking. Yeah, we got to crawl through vents. We got to play Among Us in Zenless. And the camera work that they had in that too. Like, they didn't just do random cuts. They had the camera go through some of the little vents and go to areas to look at.
Yeah.
So that was incredible. I was really, really impressed. There was also a ton of comics. The story was long. We got to see a bunch of characters. That was super excited to see. It was really, really, really good. There was also very few moments where I actually felt like I had to stop myself from progressing so that I could hear all the voice lines. There was one moment that I can point out right now that I was very upset about, and it was when there was, I completely forgot what I was saying.
There was one moment that you didn't like.
Yes, when we were stuck. Okay, actually, spoilers. First of all, normally we say that. Spoilers for 2.1 story. The moment when we get like knocked out and we're all in like the jail cell.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to find the vent to leave. And there's the thing that you use your vision to like knock it out, and it opens up the path to the vent. You can talk to Eos, Yuzuha, and Alice before you do that. However, they have no indication that once you open up the vent, it just immediately progresses the story. So I talked to Eos and then went and saw that the thing was there on the vent and was like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and open up the vent, and then I'm going to go talk to Alice and Yuzuha. Then I'll go through the vent. But instead, I opened the vent and their player models disappeared. And then Phaethon started a new dialogue. And so I did what I normally do, which it normally works, which is force close my game and then reopen it.
Oh no, did it skip it?
It skipped the Phaethon dialogue that it like just went into. And yes, it did save right there. So I was not able to go back and get whatever like dialogue Yuzuha and Alice had, which, to be fair, chat said it wasn't like important, but there was also like apparently achievements that you could earn through like either not talking to them or talking to them. So I did miss out on that because I didn't get to talk to them through that. So that was unfortunate. But overall, really, really sick, because we've mentioned it in my chat a lot on how they can come up with a good way of implementing going through the puzzle-esque stuff, how they're going to replace the TV. And it was like you're in the normal overworld, like, doing combat, and then you could be like, hey, we need to go open up this door, and then we go and do a puzzle. And they did exactly that. Whenever we had to, like, we split up the teams, and then we had to move. Like, Phaethon would be moving the boxes out of the way, and then it would switch over to the other team, and you would like be able to move them out. Overall, the main story, absolute gas. I don't have many complaints for it this time.
Since we're on the topic of like kind of the experience and the questing portion of it, and we can get into the story in just a little bit, but I think there was so much more effort being made, right? And we mentioned with like the vents, like, oh, you could literally look up, you could see what's his face talking, or you can look to the side and oh wow, the room looks very, very familiar to some Exaltus room, whatever, blah blah blah. And then there were so many other nooks and crannies when you were exploring like the sewer areas and like stuff like that, where you'd be like, oh, wait, this is an area we haven't seen before, or like, oh, this is like the control room of something, yada yada yada. All that I think just added to my experience of just being like, yo, that excitement of just like discovering something and like, you know, which I didn't necessarily have too much as we were kind of being handheld through the first portion of 2.0. So, and I'll mention this towards at the end, but like it just seems such like a stark difference between how things were presented in 2.0 to 2.1 that I just feel like how did we get from here to there? And even like, we'll get into the story about it too, because the story was really, really good and really well told, and all that kind of just like made me question. I'm like, okay, wait, like 2.0 like wasn't that bad. Supposedly with these side characters are not like these characters that we would presume to be kind of mainstay, you know, MC type of characters to a story. I guess we'll kind of go from there. What would you guys think of just the story as a whole?
Wait, can I say one thing about like the environments and stuff?
Never. We're moving on.
No, but just to build on to what Josh said about how the exploration was really good. I do think 2.1 was one of the best exploration experiences in Zenless as a whole, because I think every time prior when you're in hollows, like, you know, like TV's hollows before, that's how you would explore the maps. But then for me, I felt like every single hollow I went in was just kind of the same thing over and over again, even like within the individual hollow itself, right? But in 2.1 specifically, you could tell that they put a lot of effort into making the maps different. Like every single part of the map as you progress through the story felt like a different environment. Whether you were in the basement, you were in the vents, you were in the like overworld, you were in the like underground like tunnels leading to the sewer. Every part of it felt like I was actually progressing through a story game rather than just seeing a different variation of the same type of map like before. So that also to me helped my immersion a lot. On top of the fact that, like you said, obviously the vents was super cool. Also, you know, the puzzles that you use to unlock doors and stuff, before they would just put like a super quick, you know, like 2-second puzzle there, but then they actually used the Bang Boo, Fall Guys, like 3D, like running around collecting the coins as the kind of unlock, which again, it isn't anything like particularly significant for the story, but it did feel more fun to do to unlock the door through that method rather than just doing a like 2-second no-brainer puzzle, like just move the pieces to this circuit, right? So I think that was also like a smart way to keep you engaged, because then it also gave you some gameplay in between the walking around and combat, right? So then it didn't feel like you were just fighting stuff constantly or just talking to things constantly. You also had a little bit of variation here and there. So I also really liked that note. And yeah, like you said, the environment as well, especially in the Exaltus base, was just also super, super cool. And I loved how the venting system wasn't just for the exploration either, right? It was also foreshadowing. It wasn't very subtle foreshadowing, but it was foreshadowing, obviously, for plot relevant story as well. So even just them trying to kind of tell you that plot point of, oh, how suspicious that Yuzuha doesn't like the vents. How weird. they still were giving you hints even through the actual, like, you know, gameplay experience as well, rather than just trying to like hint it at us through dialogue. So that was also like really, really nice. And yeah, and then sorry, just one last thing. The part where you said how you kind of switch perspectives to move the boxes to help Alice get across the platform. That when I played it, my first instinct was this kind of feels like a, I guess, mitosis of how before in the TV mode, we used to do that all the time, right? We used to swap perspectives between the characters to unlock stuff for the other characters and go back and forth. But then this time they actually merged it with the 3D world exploration. So when I played that for the first time, it really, to me, felt like they were really trying to find that balance between some of the stuff in the TV mode that I thought was really well done, with the whole, like, you know, everyone working together to accomplish something while, you know, doing it outside of the TV mode. And I think that was the first time they were kind of like successful at doing that, even if it was a little bit clunky. But I could like see the effort that they put into trying to accomplish that. So yeah, overall, I just think at no point during the story did I feel bored of exploring or like going through it. There was no point where I was like, okay, can this section be done so I can get to like the plot or get to like talking to the characters again? So it was just very, very, very well executed. And yeah, like you said, a very stark contrast to 2.0, which is surprising, but I'm I'm not complaining. As long,
Yeah.
sometimes there'll be rough bumps, maybe 2.0, whatever the decision making was there to, try to make 2.0 the way that it was. At least, like 2.1 to me proves that they did have a direction they were trying to go in, and this is the direction that they're trying to go in. So if they keep, heading down this path with this type of gameplay and storytelling and stuff, then I think the rest of the 2.x story, we are going to be in for a very, very fun time.
Yeah.
Yes. Besides like the main story, not only was the main story really, really good, but there are so many events this update. And I'm assuming we all played the beach event like in full now.
Yeah, I haven't finished it, but I've played all of the minigames.
Oh, you haven't finished it yet? Freak. It's so good.
Yeah, I haven't finished the story, but I have tried all the minigames and they're all really fun.
Yeah, there is what I was surprised by was one, how long the actual story was for the beach thing, because it is very long and there's a lot of stuff in it. Not only is it really long, but the event itself basically had its own Yuzuha and Alice agent missions, which
oh yeah, I saw.
Yeah, which was crazy because those were not short. Those well, maybe if you skip dialogue, I don't know, but if you don't, they and they weren't trash stories, like they were entertaining.
Yeah.
Especially Alice's, I really liked Alice's.
Yeah.
It was
go ahead. Finish.
I'm excited. I want to play them.
Yeah, you'll love it. But yeah, so that was really, really sick. And I love the fact that this event story tied into another event story. It is like directly tied to Camellia Golden Week. The only downside to that is Camellia Golden Week isn't in the game. It is one of the best events that we had at the start of the launch of the game. And it is the only actual event that I think is just straight up not in the like replayable event tab, which is so sad. But they did do, I do want to give them props, because while it is unfortunate that it is not in the game, they did a pretty decent job at like recapping a little bit of the information from that event in this. That way, for those that didn't actually play it, they could still follow along. But yeah, I would just say absolutely goated event.
Yeah, the information, they make fun little nods to last summer, what we were doing, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So like, yeah, the story is incredibly good. I was beaching, I was doing my beach thing.
The new map also looks incredible.
It does.
I've been wanting to fish more, because you can, like, dude, the way they did it is so cool. You fish,
it's so good,
and then you put the fish into the aquarium. Oh my gosh.
I know. It reminds me of like Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, when you can collect the fish, you can see it physically in your world. I love that idea to death, especially as someone who likes collecting things, because then rather than it just being an inventory item, right, you actually get to see, you get to display it, you get to show it off, even if you're the only one in your world, right? It still feels satisfying to be able to show off. Like if you caught a really rare fish, you'd be like, yeah, look at my aquarium there. Look at that.
I got my shiny fish.
Catch the shiny. Yeah, if you catch the shiny, you can put the shiny in there. And they did the auto fishing too, which is nice.
Yeah.
I will say, I think they made the achievement a little bit. I think it's a little bit harder, because before, well, it took a lot of time before, because you had to, for the fishing title, you had to get everything, like max weight and shiny of every fish. But this time, I think it's different now, because you have to like let go. You have to release 500 fish. I think what chat said, the only way to release fish is you have to buy out the entire aquarium shop. So you have to sell a shit ton of fish to get all the gold. And then once you buy out the shop, then you can start releasing fish as opposed to selling it. So then once you you gain the release thing, then you have to release 500 fish. So
That's
I don't
so
really
roundabout.
know. Yeah, I don't know if that's like
Okay.
the actual way. Jack can correct me if wrong. That's just what I understood that it was. But I do love fishing. They made the fishing faster. They made it more engaging.
Yep.
They gave you cutie pies to do cute little poses when you catch a fish. So yeah, incredible.
On top of the fact that there's also the extra mini games, like I'm addicted to the surfing one.
Okay,
The surfing
It's
one
so
is
I
so
good.
was
fun.
blown up big with the surfing one because
Oh,
I know
really?
you were having fun with it because we're looking, I see you playing it and you're having
Oh.
fun with it. I was like,
Yeah.
why am I turning so weirdly? What is this? Like, I wish it was
You know,
just more
sounds
Mario
like a
Kart.
skill issue to me. You know, it's just,
Mm,
Yeah,
maybe
I
it is.
definitely didn't have any issues during my
I didn't
surfing.
bump
I
into
didn't
the
hit
wall a
any
single
walls.
time.
Yeah, I
Honestly,
didn't hit
so
any walls.
sounds like a you problem, Josh.
Oh shoot, man. Dang. But I think overall the mode actually was fun. And just the shooting one was probably like the least engaging to me.
Yeah.
Even though I just
Why?
complained about the the surfing one. But I don't know. The shooting one's a little to me.
No, I get that. The shooting one just kind of feels like, honestly, some of the Genshin shooting events to be completely real.
Yeah.
So it didn't really do much for me there. But yeah, also, oh, sorry, one thing about the event though. Again, I haven't finished it, but one thing I did notice is that there were some cutscenes that weren't actually cutscenes. Where, like, for example, when you first go on the ship when you do the fishing tutorial, because I like finished all the tutorial
Mhm.
stuff basically, where you're actually, I think you're with Yuzuha. You're with Yuzuha, I think, when you do the tutorial. And then they basically have you talking with Belle and Yuzuha. They have a bit of dialogue. And then they have the camera panning between different angles and the
Oh, yeah,
sunset
gotcha.
and the ship
Oh, you're talking
while
about
they're
like the
doing the
date thing.
dialogue.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
is that
yeah,
the
yeah.
date thing? Yeah, like just something like that though. I remember when I saw it, I was amazed because it's such a smart way to make the story and thing more engaging with just some camera effects, some simple camera movement,
Mhm.
while not having to necessarily animate an entire cutscene, right? Because the characters are just
Yes.
doing their kind of idle, like breathing animation poses, but getting to see all of the beautiful scenery, having it
Yeah.
pan between them. And so I was thinking that if they actually use this as a kind of test run to maybe implement that in some of the future story as well, like actual main plot, that could also be another way for them to make the story more engaging too. In the
Yeah.
future, without needing to animate, their cutscenes fully, because the animated cutscenes definitely take a lot of time and effort to make, especially
Yeah,
with the
that's
rigging that we have. So
that's a
I
good
thought that
point
was
putting in the
also
main
really cool.
story. I was just
Mm.
thinking of it as when I saw that, I was like, dude, they need to add one extra trust level to every agent. And then that is like there's a situation
that
with that
could be
agent
too.
where it's like that. But no, I could totally see that being
Mhm.
added as like another like main feature thing because
Yeah.
any additional ways to showcase the characters on screen without it being unbelievably like slow or boring is a big dub. So yeah,
Yeah.
they can throw that in there. I'll take it. I enjoyed it. The camera angles were nice.
And then I think, what was it, Alice, like during like the next fishing tutorial, I don't think it was the next fishing tutorial, but like whenever you go fishing, you will go fishing with Alice next. And then the dialogue was like, oh, you scooch a little bit closer to her. And I'm like, oh.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they did make
That's
it feel actually intimate. It was very funny.
Yeah.
I absolutely love the incredible dedication to her gimmick of wanting everything to be symmetrical. Because there were so many times where I was like, why is this a thing? And then chat was like, it's symmetrical. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm going to kill myself. I was like, I cannot believe I did not see that. For example, I was like, why the hell? I don't know if you guys noticed, but in Alice's beach skin, she has 2 Apple Watches.
She has
She has one
Apple
on.
Watches.
She has one on each wrist because
really?
it's symmetrical.
Yes.
I hated it. I hate it and I love it at the same time.
It's not
so
even for
funny.
flexing. It's just for the symmetry.
And also at the very beginning, when she first puts on the swimsuit too, and she mentions, why is there an asymmetrical thigh belt on the swimsuit? And then Yuzuha was like,
Yes.
oh, because it's cute and you need to try out some stuff, different stuff. And she was like, okay, I'll keep it on just for you. And my
Yeah.
heart,
It's so
bro,
cute.
it
Yeah.
melted.
And then I know you guys said you already started the new event, right? Every time that like she's doing anything, like on the board, it's her entire board is symmetrical. 100% of
Really?
the time, her board is symmetrical. Yes. which is really funny. It's literally every single detail about Alice always leads back to the symmetry, and it's I love it.
Yeah.
I didn't think that they were
respect the
gonna dedicate
dedication
that
to
much.
it.
Priority numero uno.
It needs to
We
be
must.
symmetrical.
We have to commit to the bit. Because I just remember in the dev talk they mentioned how when they were doing the camera angle for her ult, I think, because after the
Yes.
ult, every character has an asymmetrical, like, cool shot. They mentioned that they specifically made Alice's symmetrical so that you could see her like animation symmetrically, and because she obviously loves symmetry. When they mentioned that, I was blown away by just the attention to detail, right? Because that I didn't even think about the fact that they made these cool shots. Like, obviously I saw them, but I never thought twice. I was just like, oh, you know, they're just choosing a cool camera angle to showcase it. But Alice, they said that this girl loves symmetry and we're gonna let her have it.
I like Alice's character. I like all the characters. I'm gonna bring this back to the story now. Now that I mentioned liking the characters, Damian, kind of awesome, dude.
Oh my God.
I love the fact that he is actually like morally gray.
Yeah.
Like they're not trying to make him like one or the other. They literally start this story off by showing you how he made Alice cry, and then he still was like, "Yeah, I'll help you at the end," but he got baited, and he respected it. He
Yeah.
respected the fact that he got baited.
Yeah.
He was like, "Damn, I didn't know you had it in you."
He respects her game. you know?
Game has a game. What can I say?
I love it so much. Like the writing for him is impeccable. And I was telling chat, okay, I understand everyone already knows that it probably is. Okay, there's really no way that it's not. That he's the HIA dude, the dude in the HIA outfit. Okay, with the little bunny.
What?
From the original trailer. The fact that they are writing him the way that they are, and that if it goes to the point where he then becomes playable, he will be one of the coolest characters to be like written into a playable character in the game. In my favorite, like the way that they showcased him way before. It's not the like small. Oh yeah, you talked to Azrial in Bangbu. Here she is. Here's who she is. No, they're like, here's Damian. He does all this shit. And also, do you like him? Do you not like him? Too bad, he's playable anyway.
Too bad. Talking about future playable characters. We're speaking into existence here. Oh, okay. You know what I'm going next. But yeah,
is this still about like the story and stuff?
Huh?
Okay, because I wanted to mention, like, for the story specifically, I also with Spook Jack, right?
Yeah.
One thing that I really, really loved about 2.1, you know, amongst all of the really amazing things, was the fact that they kind of went back to the cutting hairs days, in the sense of they wrote the characters. We got to witness the character's journey into becoming a member of the faction. Because I actually initially assumed Alice was just going to be a member of Spook Shack to begin with, but she didn't actually know them. She didn't actually know them before, so we actually got to witness her journey into becoming, you know, one of the Spook Shack members, and I really, really loved that because, you know, as nice as it is to see pre-established factions already, I've always loved it when we actually get to see this kind of like not coming of age story, but you know, like along a similar vein, with her being able to have that journey and development and then end up, you know, in the present day as being, you know, really close to Yuzuha and Kamano, and I really, really enjoyed that, and it makes me hopeful because I think for some of the previous factions, not that it was predictable necessarily, but it kind of like was getting to a bit of a status quo of, okay, all the upcoming factions, everyone already knows each other, and we're just kind of learning about their stories, right?
Yeah.
So then now that they've kind of brought this back, now for all the future factions, I'm actually going to be, you know, I'll be surprised. I'll be like, oh, I don't know what they're going to do with this faction or this these upcoming characters or this upcoming story. So there's going to be a bigger element of surprise to it, which will always be nice. And then they also are clearly, you know, willing to kind of go back to just writing a story to write the story rather than just doing it kind of in a more kind of cookie cutter way.
Right.
So I really, really enjoyed that in particular, and I'm looking forward to how they're going to write some of the other factions as well.
Yeah. Yes.
I wanted
a huge call out.
I wanted to go back to that point to kind of like reiterate it a little bit, right? That aspect of developing the character and developing the relationship. Right. Because we see all the relationships developed already. Right. And we talk about this all the time. And a lot of people around, you know, the space in terms of content creation and just, you know, critiquing in general, we talk about show not tell, right? And to be able to see real time that development of character, especially with Alice, the development of the relationship between Alice and Yuzuha, and then them also, you know, again, unearthing their past histories and how they're actually so intertwined with each other. Like, ooh, that's that sauce. And then not in particularly that aspect that I want to relate to, but just like these sort of like hodgepodge of characters at the end of the story. I was like, this kind of reminds me of how I felt when I watched the Guardians of the Galaxy for the first time.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like these, like, you know, ruffian characters, like different personalities. You know, you have, you know, the somewhat soft spoken, you know, character turn into like the, you know, I can box with all y'all. I can, you know, make a deal with you, Damian. You know what I mean? And then Yuzuha, like, you know, being that kind of snarky character, but you know, she has layers. Right. And then being able to uncover that very, very soft and very empathetic side. And then you have Kamado. Oh, he's the dumb guy. No, he's actually, you know, going through all the research and like, you know, it actually reiterates he's, you know, he is an actual like student. He actually has brains and bronze a little bit. So like, you know, all these like little things, and not only just like little things like Kamado's kind of tidbits here and there, but just, you know, even with the larger storyline of it, which being Yuzuha and Alice actually getting to come together to now fully form the new Spook Shack faction. Like that whole storyline was so just well crafted, and them showing that relationship develop and evolve just meant so much more to us as a player base than just, you know, having us go through an already pre-established collection of characters.
I never, I didn't actually make the connection. I mentioned it when I was streaming of like, oh, I definitely thought that they would have already known each other, like Alice and Yuzuha. But you guys make a very valid point. I didn't realize that we haven't actually seen that since like the Cunning Hares. And that's probably why I enjoyed seeing their interaction so much, is because we got to see them actually like grow together, which is always a huge dub. That's also why Nekomata was like one of like a lot of people's favorites story-wise, like towards the launch of the game. Because you got to see her backstory and how she was like all alone, and then the Cunninghams were like, "No, come here, you're a part of us now." So I do hope that they do that in the future, because that is a good call out. And I do think that, well, I don't know if they're gonna be playable, but it kind of ties in with how I like how they're writing Damian, how he's interacting with all these different factions, and we don't like if he is playable. I know chat's like, he's too basic to be playable. I know there's a lot of back and forth, whatever. If he is or isn't, it doesn't matter. I like the fact that they're writing his character to interact with so many different like factions and characters, and that he could really be a part of like anything. They did also, Damian was the one who called in a new like group, and I forgot the name. Chat, you're gonna have to remind me. At the end of the story, they literally named it one time. He brought in like this top elite groups from Tops or something to come in and take like a deep dive into the whole situation. I know chat has the name. Krampus.
Oh,
that's it. Krampus.
Right. I recognize the name.
Krampus. Yeah.
Oh.
So I'm really interested in that, because it was like evil Santa. They it was a very small just like name drop, and it's like, this will come back.
You think the bunny is Krampus, or not the bunny? Sorry, the little rabbit.
I'm gonna have to. Yeah.
I mean, actually,
there's not
maybe
really much to go off on.
That might make sense though. Maybe Krampus is the new faction, right? When we'll see members of them kind of show up over time.
And it makes sense as to why Damian would have interactions with her.
They mentioned Zhao.
I can definitely confirm that they did not.
They did not mention Zhao. Who is that? I don't know. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Oh, sorry. Age, what were we talking about before?
No, we know her name, but they didn't mention the name in game.
Yeah,
I think chat was just trying to say like that way we don't say Bunny Girl. Her name is Zhao.
Oh,
I'm speaking into existence right now. Isolde is playable. 100%.
She has to be.
She has
Really?
to be.
She has to be.
My
I feel like her
beautiful
model is not.
green-haired mother. Oh my
No,
god.
I feel like
Let's be
her
for
model
real,
still needs a bit more though.
Yeah, she probably won't be, but I would like to say that she is. She's really cool, and she's so
Yeah, I like
goated.
her.
Yeah.
Like they built her up enough, like where when that moment at the end of the story, when we're in the floating at sea and we hear her voice, and I immediately call out that it's her from her voice, and I'm like, yes, my goat.
She's whispering in my ear.
I love her.
So cool.
My siren
Yeah, I
call.
love her. She's amazing, and I want to see more of her. And it was so
Yeah.
funny because at first I was so suspicious of her. I was like, oh, I don't know. She looks so evil. The little logo on her belt is so similar to the Exaltus like Infinity thing. And then I was like, I'm overlooking all the red flags. I love
Yeah.
you now.
Because
No, she's beautiful and her design is so nice. And I
Yes.
really want her to be playable, but I feel like if they do make her playable, they're gonna have to upgrade her model a little bit. There just isn't enough
Maybe,
detail on it compared
fair.
to the actual playable models. But I mean, hey, who knows? They could actually do that, you know?
Yeah.
Especially if Damon also ends up being playable, they'll 100% have to upgrade his model as well, I think. So maybe this could be the start of them having NPCs in the game and then giving them development, and then over time maybe letting them have a upgraded form in the future
As
playable. I'm
they
not coping.
should.
I'm not
Playable
coping right
Venus.
now. I'm not coping
I'm
at all.
kidding.
But
Oh, Jack said it. Playable Venus. We said it at the same time. No, I agree. Yeah, but they will definitely update Damian's model. I mean, they have to put the earring on. So
yeah.
Jshoea
So
guy.
hey,
That
if
counts as
Damian has hope,
update.
if Damian has hope, then Isolde has hope too. You know. So
Because like for me,
If it is Damian,
Yeah.
I need a dramatic cutscene, not an art piece, a cutscene of him putting the earring in and being like, "It's time to get to work."
he takes off his other jacket, reveals like Superman HIA.
Yes, HIA guy. It says John Zenless.
Nah, but yeah, I mean, Isolde was just for me the OBOL squad character that I fell in love with. But there was definitely another now more officially teased character from the following faction that we got to see. And I'd like to talk to the guy who loves the OBOL squad the most. What are we thinking,
Dude,
about
before I get into them,
Seed? Yeah.
I just want to do a quick mention. This
Please.
is the very first main story mission ever that Soldier 11 was in.
Let's go.
Oh, really?
It took till 2.1 for Soldier 11 to be in a main story. So just want to call that out. Huge dub for Soldier 11. Not only was she in the story, she was one of the trial characters, wasn't she? I think we literally played her.
We do.
Huge.
I did not
which
know
is totally hinting that Soldier 11 is going to be buffed, right? Totally.
Yeah.
100%.
Hey,
Yes.
maybe.
Yeah, at the same time that they're dropping what one of the girls that you want me to go into. Dude, Orphe, she's so cute. What the hell? She's such a cutie patootie. I love the fact that obviously we got a little taste of like their dynamic, Orphe and Magus's dynamic in the Lost Void story in the last update. But in this one we got a lot more because Magus actually had a lot more lines. Because in Lost Void it was pretty much only Orphe. In fact, I think did Magus even have any lines in Lost Void? I don't even remember.
I think one. Yeah.
I think it was one, but it wasn't.
I think it was internal dialogue. Was it?
Was
okay.
it?
It may have just been one. But either way, I love their dynamic, and I'm really excited to see more of it because we didn't get to see them in a chill environment and their dynamic. We've only seen them during a mission. And in the drip marketing, Orphe's got jokes. Orphe said, if you don't like the way that I'm like doing my combat, then blame Magus.
Yeah.
And Magus is like, whoa, hey.
No.
Yeah. So I just want to see more of like how they actually interact with each other. And is Magus detachable? Is Magus like fully like only attached 24/7?
Mr. Tail.
It's yeah, Mr. Tail. Yeah. But I want to point out that the fact that they are two separate characters and they're being treated as like two separate characters in terms of like story. They do have two completely different personalities. They have their own voice. And I did not feel like, at least within this story, that one overshadowed the other. It did feel very balanced, which I'm glad at. I didn't want them. I know it's going to be hard to do that. And especially so, same worry with the other OBOL Squad character, Seed and Seed Senior. There's been a lot of debate over what Seed has, who the pronouns have been changing all over the place. We thought Seed was only an intelligent construct at first. And then we're like, all the things said he, and then it said she, and then they updated it, and then some still said he, some said she. And now this is the first time that we have like official confirmation that there is Seed and there is Seed Senior. And Seed Senior is the robot itself, like the mech, and then Seed is the girl. Unfortunately, we have no lore on who the girl really is, on who Seed is. I don't know where she came from. I don't know her past. I don't know anything. I can't really talk on that. But I like the fact that now I'm trying to figure out what little lore tidbits we did have on Seed, who they apply to. Like, because we know Seed has been mentioned as a people pleaser. So is it Seed or is it Seed Senior that's a people pleaser? But yeah, well, I mean, we'll see like in the future. But I just think it's a very interesting dynamic, but I'm excited to see more about them. There's not too much lore on them, unfortunately, but I really like their designs. I like their voices, and I'm intrigued. Also, I love the fact that Seed Senior looks like he's wearing Crocs.
Does he? Oh my god.
It does.
Oh my god.
The color scheme is like a little, it's like everything's fine. And then his little toesies are just like the whole platform is just yellow. And it just looks like he's wearing like yellow Crocs.
The skirt kind of threw me off a little bit. I was like, okay, yeah, it's kind of cute.
Oh, the skirt,
yeah. And then I joke around that Monato has panda dunks.
Has what?
Panda dunks. Like
what's that?
I don't know what that is.
Shoes. For the sneakerheads out there, you guys know what panda dunks are.
Oh, okay.
They're like super generic.
Sorry, I'm not cultured enough. My bad.
They're black and white Nike dunks. It's a type of shoe line. Anyways, put it in post, Josh. That's what the panda dunks look like. Anyways, that's what his shoes look like. If you kind of see his like kind of sporty-ish kind of shoes that Monato wears, it's very, very similar. Anyways, sorry that joke didn't land.
Sorry, never been a shoe guy.
But yeah, back to one more point. Back to Seed Senior, Orphe, Magus. Just because I'm the combat guy, we will very, very, very soon, I think in the next 2.5 weeks, we should be getting the special program and thus be able to actually officially get to talk about the combat aspects of it, just because there's a lot of questions going around the community. Maybe some people might have seen leaks. You can, do your own due diligence if you want to indulge in that, but again, very, very excited to see how these characters, I mean, of course, story-wise, right? What is their relationship between themselves and how do they interact outside of that? Also, from a meta perspective, you're like, okay, we have two characters that are two characters. What are we doing with that too? So it's going to be very, very intriguing to see like, maybe there's a stance switch. Maybe you use two characters at the same time. There's many ways you can spin their combat to feel very, very starkly different, just because I think having two characters that are two characters and they're both attacker units, there's now room to be like, okay, yeah, the archetype is the same, but then from here we can actually evolve the archetype and what it means to be an attacker character, I think is what we're going to accomplish here in 2.2. So very, very exciting for that. I want
to touch on because this isn't with Orphe and Seed, but you mentioned stance switching, and I am still really, really interested in, because one of the idols shows up in the thing.
Wait, really?
Okay.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry. I definitely thought you were going to say that.
shit.
Just so we're clear, I asked permission, Chad. I asked permission first. I'm so sorry.
I didn't know that.
Shit. Well.
Okay, I feel bad. But I tried. I
don't know which one.
You don't know which one. You don't know which one. You don't know which one. So they're incoming. Now, if you guys remember the concept art of the idols, there is 3 girlies. One of those girlies is like a seemingly, right, if I'm remembering correctly, the base form is a robot. She's like an intelligent construct.
Yeah.
And she can transform into like a girl, like a regular girl. It's the whatever. I don't know if it's through like holograms or whatever. But I think it would be super interesting if we got a proper stance switcher with her, and she had like a different combat style depending on if she was in robot form or in like magical like human form. And I think that would be like a great opportunity, because if she's already gonna have 2 completely separate models, like 3D models, to be able to swap between, like even if it's in like a cutscene or like if she's like singing on stage, whatever, if they exist, use them in combat. Whether it's it's an ult install, or if she actually has like 2 separate kits, and because they're getting kind of complicated with combat, right? They're testing the water with some mechanics.
Oh yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they're like. Also, I think it'd be really funny if they made one of the idols the hardest character to play. That would be really funny. Just make her have 2 completely separate kits and be a full stance switcher. It'd be so good.
Yeah, like we're already kind of headed into this like era of like this melting pot. Like you see it with Yuzuha. She has a parry, which is, you know, canonically known with defensive characters. And then you have parry, and she has aftershock.
The aftershock. Yeah.
Which is more from the stunner, quote unquote, perspective with Pulchra and Trigger. So, you know, Alice coming ahead now, we've kind of already seen a little bit of her kit. She has something, an evolution of Yanagi's ability, the polarized assault. And they've talked about it on the dev notes, so this won't be too much of a spoiler, and it'll help you guys hopefully kind of like, you know, conceptualize this. Polarized assault, and any like polarity or polarize, is basically on-demand anomaly. So in ways where you can actually enact like a disorder off of something that's already previously, you know, the attribute anomaly, you don't have to shock in order to polarity disorder. So too, do you not technically need excuse me, with polarity, polarized assault, you can it's tough. You can actually assault and disorder off of a previous assault.
Right.
Yeah. So instead of, you know, assaults and then just assault, you can disorder off of your assaults.
Right. You don't have to mix the age if you're so confused. Instead of like you having to get like 2 different elements to cause a disorder to happen, you can have it happen off the same element.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And what this invites is mono anomaly comps.
Right.
More purist anomaly comps, which was not seen as favorable earlier, right? People were like, oh, why would I put Bernice and like Evelyn, or like, you know, why would I put them together? Because again, the fire anomaly, it would drown out, it would saturate the percentage of contribution, which would lower your damage. But here, you get a whole new assault and a whole new disorder when you do this sort of charge attack. And boom, you know, you introduce Jane. Jane introduces critting when your character is affected with Gnaw. So thereby which it just makes it that much more, you know, viable now these days to, you know, utilize more mono comps, which is before not as favored as much, right? You wouldn't use Jane and Piper together generally.
Right.
More in more theory. Now,
unless you're spinning to win, but
unless you're spinning to win. But now it is incredibly strong, and I can't tell you guys any numbers until early access comes out, but Jane and Jane and Alice really good together. And we already knew the assaults, anomaly, attribute anomaly, and those who can enact it have been really, really strong whenever they're more relevant. It is very, very good. And of course, just more natural classical mixed disorder comps are obviously very good. Hyper carry with Alice is interesting, strong, but the one that I really want to highlight is that mono physical comp. But that's enough meta talk from me.
Well, actually, I have a meta question for you.
Yeah, please.
I was talking about this with actually my friends in D&D, because it is really interesting that they keep like trying to do these new mechanics and stuff.
Yeah.
To open up a bunch of like new like team comps and whatever. Do you think that they'll ever expand on Totalize, or do you think Hugo will be like the only character that has Totalize for like a while?
For a while, yes. Yeah, I don't really see too many characters utilizing Totalize, because I think Totalize is I think it should be more of a unique thing, personally. Where, like, let's say a concept like the Aftershock, right? It's so very much tied to application off field, which invites you to test and to be able to iterate upon like different, concepts and different teams, to be able to be like, oh, what if I run, a team that has two characters that can Aftershock. One can be more on field that can Aftershock when the other is off field, blah, 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 blah. Or like, no, I'll stop there.
Yeah, I got you. I know what you mean. Yeah, that makes sense. I do think that it should definitely be like a unique thing for a while.
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting that like they added this whole mechanic in there, and we probably won't see another character have it for a bit. I actually had another meta question for you.
Please.
Because in one of the dev interviews, they have mentioned that they want to start bringing back the team attacks, but more specifically, they mentioned team chain attacks. So my question to you is, if they implement team chain attacks, do you think there will be an issue of people kind of like, let's say the chain attack, right? It would have to be faction based, right? Like the chain attack,
relative,
or at least assumedly so. If that team chain attack just does absurd shit, like whether it's like a huge buff or like a stupid amount of damage, do you think it would upset the player base? Because now it feels like you have to run specific teams that allow the chain, like team up chain attacks, or do you think it'll just be like a whatever?
Right. And I kind of want to reference you firstly for this question, because how did people feel when they introduced the requirement of all the Hershers for that special unique ultimate attack, whatever?
Yeah, that is a good question, because it definitely made me want to spend money. I can say that. I don't really know meta wise how much more damage that did, if I'm being honest with you. I know it was probably a decent bit. I just don't remember if it was like a crazy amount where like top 3 in the leaderboards if you don't have the 3.
Right.
Like strictly because of that ult.
Yeah. The matter of fact that PvP and the ladder, not really PvP, but like leaderboard and ladder does take into consideration, you gotta like actually follow the meta if you want to be competitive in this. Zenless Zone Zero doesn't have that. So we can take that out of the equation and then just and then look at it more from the perspective of PvE, right? I think 9 out of 10 Zenless Zone Zero players who have been here to see the growth of the game and the meta, you understand that Miyabi, sure, she's a broken character, but she doesn't necessarily dictate the game, as if it were, right? She'll break the game. She feels like a completely different character to play at some points, right? Compared to the others, faster pace, right? Much more damage. And right now, it seems like she has the most variety of teams. She has hyper carry, mono ice, mixed disorder, so many teams. That's so many teams, right? I think that if you were to introduce chain and combo attacks, that they're not going to make it a dictating factor where you need to achieve these attacks to be able to clear content, nor to be able to be relatively competitive, unless they're going in a direction where all the factions at some point will have a chain. Then that might mix things up a little bit, but it doesn't seem like that at all. There's no indication of that.
I'm not the biggest expert on meta, of course, but also, I mean, like, I guess just listening to, like, I guess what you're trying to say is I don't really feel like it would be any bigger of an issue than just a general power creep, to be honest.
Okay,
Because
yeah,
what's the
that's fair.
difference? Because, like right now, right, there's already so many teams that you can build, but then there's also a lot of like optimal ways to build your teams, right?
Yeah.
There's optimal characters to use with certain other characters. So people who are super into the meta for those purposes are gonna, go for those characters anyways. And yeah, so sure, you could have an extra buff like within the faction for that chain attack, and maybe it does more damage. But like you said, as long as the overarching power creep of the PvE stuff is not too high and you can still clear the content without that chain attack, it'll be fine. I don't think it's that big of an issue. It's an extra incentive for the people who really want to, like, I don't know, break the game or do super, super big damage for sure, but it won't necessarily destroy the game. I guess it's kind of like, not to bring up the global passive in Star Rail, but to me, it kind of reminds me of the entire global passive situation of where, yes, there is obviously always going to be the potential for a feature like this to become really, really OP and problematic if the power creep gets too big. But if you don't, make the content so difficult that you need that specific thing to clear it, then it's not going to be an issue. So I don't think that they're going to make it to that point. At least that's my hope. I hope that they're not going to power creep the Zenless Zone Zero to the point where you're forced to pull for, specific character combos for that chain attack specifically. But again, if the power creep is going to get bad, there's probably going to be other ways, like other characters as well. It's probably going to be more like a situation of, let's say, like Sunday in Star Rail, where Sunday is just such a broken character that you kind of just want him on every team versus having to get like this one specific chain combo. Like they might just, I think there's a bigger chance that they would just release like a really extra broken like Azrial, for example, right? Another really broken Azrial than necessarily making the chain attack.
The main reason I came up with that question, I think, is because I've been seeing a lot of discourse on Twitter recently of like, they feel like recently characters have been like released in pairs. Like if you're going to get one, you should get the other because they're so good together. So like, what if they launch characters with a team attack later where it's like, okay, banner 1 character and then banner 2 and those 2 characters together, like, yeah, they have a crazy chain attack. But I think everything you guys said still applies even in that scenario. So I think it's whatever. I am interested though. Do you think that they should have a toggle for it? That way, if you have them in the team, you could like take it off, like be like, don't do that.
I think it would have to be a
like,
situation where like, oh, you get to a specific like scenario case of like, oh, you build up all these abilities together to be able to use it. So like there must be like conditions versus like, oh, you can just press E and then it automatically happens every time.
Right.
Like yeah. But I mean, to your point, because I do the sort of underlying reason about asking that question, right? About that discourse, characters coming out in pairs, Azrial, Evelyn, right? You have Yushen, to some extent Panyu, right? The A tier, and then Jufufu working extremely well, just synergistically. And well, to be fair, Jufu honestly works with so many characters. But I digress. And then now you have Yuzuha and Alice. My kind of statement to the greater ZZ community is that even though, yes, the characters will synergize well, I think the meta and I think the game state is the most diverse it's ever been. And there's nothing pigeonholing you guys into being like, oh, I need to pull for these 2 characters. Because even if you pull for Jufufu, she's going to be able to work with your Hugo Vlad. She's going to be able to work with your Evelyn, right? You can run double stunner comps now, right? With Yuzuha, you don't need to pull a Yuzuha for Alice alone. You could pull Yuzuha for every other anomaly character. And even if you only pull for Alice instead of Yuzuha, bro, you can now use her with mono physical comps. You can use her with mixed disorder comps, right? Just like the diversity in these characters way overshadows that narrative of the pairings, because the dev team is just so smart in allowing these characters to work outside of their niche now. And that also has to do with like one of their efforts of making the additional core passives very, very broad, right? So granted, yes, like some of them, like I believe Yuzuha is like what Anomaly and Faction. I don't want to mention Alice's just yet, but
That's my dream.
yeah, that's for a little bit later, guys. Yeah. So I won't go too far from that, but like again, a lot of people were questioning, what the hell, 2 attacks, and then what the heck, electric attack? There must be a reason. So hopefully, we'll be able to quell that officially very, very soon.
Very soon. Hell yeah. Goated answer.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. One question though to kind of wrap up.
Oh yes.
Sorry, did you want to touch back on something else?
I was just gonna say, was there any other topic that anyone wanted to specifically bring up? So you're doing it.
One more thing to wrap up 2.1, I guess, because we talked about a ton of just the content, the story, the events and stuff. Do we have a favorite like character from the story? And we kind of mentioned it a little bit, as you of course you love Damon. Did you have another more specific fan favorite character that you're like, man, I'm really, they really grew on me from the story of this patch?
Yuzuha's dad.
Okay.
I don't know what their deal is with killing the goats of fathers, but they love to kill good dads, and it makes me very, very scared for our boy Sorichiro.
Wait, wasn't that Alice's dad?
Oh yeah. Sorry, Alice.
Oh, okay.
Alice.
Sorry, I just got confused because they did also mention
Chat.
Yuzuha's dad too.
Yes.
No, yeah.
Yuzuha's dad was like the adoptive thing. But yes, Alice is Alice's biological father. My bad.
That's
the second time I've swapped Alice's and Yuzuha's names.
Honestly, I do
chat wants to ban me
I
now. I get it. But yes, he was literally very minimal screen time. But one of my favorite characters in the story. Is that because I want to be a father and he's goated? Maybe. Yeah. But either way, I love that man, and they did him dirty.
Because he was just kind of a victim in it all. And then at the end, was willing to give up his life to save another, just like his daughters too. But yeah, for me, Alice went from a skip character to I have to pull her now. So I think Alice obviously is a character that grew on a lot of people, I would say. Whether you liked her before or didn't like her before, I really, really love her now. So I cannot skip her anymore. And I also really liked Lionel. I think Damian was well written. I do have beef to pick with one of those Tops guys. I don't remember his name, but the one who had the ugly ass polka dot suit every time he was on the screen. I don't remember, but I just know he had like an ugly polka dot suit, and it was so ugly every time he was on the screen. His drip burned my eyes.
Yeah,
it was one of like the partners. One of the partners.
Was
I don't even know
the partner or the not corrupt partner or the
it was the
okay.
Yeah, the CEO dude. I don't care who he was. He was
the two names were Lucro and Ferox.
Jesus.
But yes, I think it was Lucro.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I have a follow-up to that. Do you have beef with Shepard's ugly ass tie? Like his ugly suit?
Okay, but Shepard's endearing, okay? So it's different. I can
endearing? What is endearing about Shepard? I hate that man. Oh, okay, I don't hate him. But
Shepard's the one who gives us our jobs, right?
We haven't seen Shepard in so long. That man is so out of the loop. Venus is more good.
Wait, is Shepard the one who gives us our job? The one who kind of
he was the commission broker. Yes.
Okay, it's because I kind of I felt he had like the Joker energy. So I was like, you know what, you can live your life as long as you give me money, So I can forgive him for his questionable style tastes. But if I am in a fine dining establishment and there is a rich man in front of me and he is dressed like that, I got a bone to pick, okay? You have all the money in the world. How about you get a stylist and get someone to tell you that your outfit looks like ass?
Real.
Shepard's just trying to make ends meet, okay? So, can you really blame the man?
Yeah, you know what? I'll take that. I'll take that excuse. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't have any bones to pick with too many characters, I don't think, because especially with how well they flesh out Damian. Like he's such a greatly complex character, even though like his morals, his values are very like defined within the moral compass thing of sorts, which not a lot of characters, especially in gacha games, are, because a lot of times, oh, I'll flip and I'll help you out or whatever, you know, I used to be evil, but now I'll help you out within the context of the story, him not helping us out initially, right, and then getting that, you know, what is it, the contract or whatever, the patent was like, you know, too good to miss out on. So yeah, I think their stories and then the way that they wove the characters was just so good. I guess for me, my favorite character, I mean, yeah, we're shrimping hard for Isolde, but I think Yuzuha was the one for me, because I definitely, you know, again, with Alice's, you know, character development, so easy to root for her, and she definitely arguably is the shining character of 2.1, but for me, I do love Yuzuha. I do love a princess story of sorts.
And Minato was also very hot. Okay, none of us mentioned Minato, but he didn't get
that,
you know,
was
too much
yours.
development,
That was supposed to be your guy.
Well, listen. I'm trying to like, you know, be objective here, okay? Because he was hot as hell.
It's a subjective thing.
That looking down at us angle. Oh my god, that shit was so
where
crazy.
he became a super giant. Yes,
I am just anticipating. Hopefully, we'll get to see more of him later when he does become playable, which surely he will become playable. And maybe we'll get to see like an agent story or something to learn more about him, since he was just more of a side character, a supporting character in 2.1, which is totally okay. You know, if they try to force characters to have roles when they're not necessarily, well, they don't need to, then that's how you write a bad story. So, but yeah, he was also very great. But yeah, again, like with the Damian thing too, I really loved, like you said, how they made him morally gray, because again, he's not cookie cutter, and a lot of the times, you know, characters are either one way or another in gacha games, and it does get kind of boring after a while, no matter how well they write the story. So I anticipate, hopefully, maybe some upcoming characters or future characters will also be able to be in this kind of more morally gray area, where they have some, you know, flaws, have some, you know, good traits, some bad traits, and because those are the characters that kind of resonate with you the most, since that's how people are, you know, that's reality, and they're the characters that you find the most relatable, even if you're not necessarily, you know, the leader of a big team in a big corporation trying to make a lot of money in slightly corrupt ways.
I guess, did anyone else have any other topics?
I mean, also something that we didn't really get into was like, what the hell have we been up to in the past couple weeks outside of, because a couple of us been traveling, a couple of us got sick, a couple of us been, you know, settling into new places. Like,
I have been doing nothing. But I did see that you went to a con. And I was watching because your mods rated me, and I was like, oh my goodness, thanks, Josh. And then they're like, oh, Josh is not here. And I was like, oh, freak. So then I went and I looked at your stream because I was eating food, and you looked so cute. You were so cute walking around the con interviewing people. It was amazing. So yeah.
I have so much to show and tell.
Oh my gosh, show and tell.
Yeah, this
I need to see.
Let me just open it up.
Ooh.
An exclusive Anime Impulse metallic collectible card. This is that convention that I went to, was the very first time that they had this merch in stock. Not online, at the convention.
I'm seething.
I have two here. I have two more in the back. They were expensive. I would not.
Seething with jealousy.
Yeah. Okay, question.
Yes.
Was that for purchase, or was that one of the whaling bonuses?
Purchase.
How much was it?
$30.
Say it. I know it. I know it's a lot.
$30 for a card.
Not bad for work.
$30.
That's way less than I thought you were gonna say.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah,
take
I
the
thought it
whole
was gonna be like
stock.
100.
I'll take
Stock.
everything.
I'll take your whole stock,
Hello?
sir.
I will take it
Hello?
all.
So
yeah, I didn't even know that existed. So
whoa.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
It actually looks so
Sick.
good.
yeah. I'll bring one in a little bit, but that was the little show and tell that I had pretty much. Aside
Wait, are
from
you
like the
gonna open the
Legos.
third one?
Okay.
But hey,
Is
I
it
could
like
be pleasantly
actually
surprised.
random? Wait,
It is
So
random.
you know what it is
What was that?
right now? You know what it is? Or you have to
no,
like open the
no,
box?
I don't know. They were all random. Yeah, I already opened these two. That's why. Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right,
This
right,
one
right.
has not been opened. It is completely sealed right now. So
It is sealed, fresh.
yes, this is the third
Ooh,
one
good.
ever opened on a recorded stream. So
Let's go.
here you guys go.
Okay,
All right,
okay.
here we go.
This is a Proxy Podcast exclusive.
Proxy
Yeah,
podcast
Proxy
exclusive.
Podcast
Yes.
exclusive.
All right, folks.
Unboxing.
Okay.
Yes, open it.
Okay.
Open it.
Here
We're
we
ready.
go.
We're ready.
3.
Come on. Come on.
2.
Manifesting. My boy.
I just need something different, please. Something different.
Or Bernice?
Trigger.
Bernice? Bernice or
Trigger.
Jane? Jane.
Billy.
Oh, it's Billy!
Okay. Okay.
Yo!
Billy.
Okay.
Not bad.
Okay.
Not bad. Not
Billy the
bad.
Bulldog.
So
OG.
cool.
That's an OG.
Yeah, card looks so sick.
You look
dude.
so cool with the metallic.
Sorry,
background.
I didn't do very here. I was about to close it because I was like, oh, we're done now. There he is.
Dude, oh my
Man, that
god,
looks
I
so
need that
good.
shit so bad. What do you mean?
That looks
Oh
so
my
good.
Yeah,
god.
I'll get you some. So the
Nice.
convention is in August 30th or something like that. So
Dude.
that'll be the next time I'll be able to snack some for you guys.
Imagine they do that, but a card of their M6.
No, I
That
swear,
would
wasn't there?
sell
Wasn't
so
there?
much money.
Oh, it was
There was
okay. It
mo- there
wasn't
was a
metallic.
little
They
thing,
did
yeah.
They
have
do
my
sell
one.
it. They do sell it, but not in a metallic shiny
I
card.
know, true.
Yeah.
Oh my god! It's like a shirtless lighter. Oh my god.
Dude,
What?
see, now you're thinking. Now you're thinking.
On the
And then you can
spot.
keep it in your
On
wallet.
the spot. Wallet. You think
No,
I'm
it's gonna be a
take that shit out?
shrine. It's
Yes.
gonna
If
be
you
my
don't
wallet,
take that out
it's
in
gonna be on the
public,
outside my
then you are
phone
not
case,
honoring
baby.
library.
I have the only 24 carats
Oh,
Labubu.
Oh god.
Oh, apparently it's just random play Cunning Hares and Mockingbird right now.
For now, yes.
Oh.
But more
Oh,
than
so I should be mad
likely,
at
like we will see
Hugo.
set 2. Yeah,
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
yeah.
So I should have been
I
manifesting
gotcha.
Hugo then. I get it. I get it.
I was
It's
surprised
okay, I
I didn't
learned
get
my
sick when I went to Anime Impulse because conventions they tend to
Yeah.
yeah.
As long as you're not, immensely sleep deprived for a long period of time prior, usually helps your immune system with
Usually.
fending off the
Usually.
illness. I mean, apart from
Oh,
that,
but
I'm gonna make my first video essay. Oh, sorry.
no, what were you about to say? Sorry, no, I cut you
Oh
off.
no, I was gonna say I'm working on my first video essay. It's not for Zenless though.
Yeah, it's
Ooh.
for
Oh, yeah.
Waves.
Wowa. It's for Wowa.
Freak
The
yeah.
newest story was really, really good. It was actually kind of similar in the sense that we were talking about Damian earlier, with how they were starting to write some really morally gray characters, possibly
Mhm.
playable in the future. Frolova is one of the villains in Wowa, and she's the newest playable character. And then so there was a lot of worries from me and I guess some others that, maybe they were going to do the whole thing of, making her good kind of thing, giving her redemption, like trying to excuse her actions, making her good in the end. She was just misunderstood. But no, they stood their ground. They let her stay like, I guess, true to herself till the end. But they did it in a very like good way that you can obviously emphasize.
Empathize.
Empathize.
Yeah.
You could empathize with her and the situation and everything. And yeah. They also like slight spoiler. I won't go to specifics, but they also kind of like made a little bit of stuff with the MC kind of not completely just, like Paragon of Justice either.
Yes,
So there's some like cool lasting consequences there with the MC's past as well. And
Hell yeah.
so I literally like the brainworms took over and
Yeah.
I wrote a 3.5-page essay night owl
Nice.
instead of sleeping, which actually contributed towards my
The
illness. You know, this is the whole
sickness.
sleep deprivation
Right.
thing that I was
But worth
mentioning.
it. Worth it for
But
gotcha game video essay. Trust me.
Yep.
I
but I
went
had a
through
lot
the
of thoughts.
same
I needed to
thing.
get it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's sick. I really love the idea of playable villains.
Mhm.
Like not
Yeah.
to take away from Wuhan, like bring it back to Zenless, but I
Yeah.
do like I really wish that we Sarah, right? Like Sarah, the playable Sarah would be sick. The big difference though, I don't know if there is a system like the trust thing in Wuwa or not.
Yeah.
But that is like a huge like barrier of like how are they gonna allow the trust system to exist on a playable villain if they keep them a villain? They're not gonna hang out with the MC. So like what's the iteration of it there? I know like we made a joke
Like,
about it with chat before, but it was like a distrust event basically where you play the villain and you like go out of your way to be a menace to the siblings, but that's not going to be what it is. So yeah, it could just be you just don't have trust with them, which is valid. However, there's a lot of individual lore for each characters within the trust events. So if they just have it like, oh yeah, no trust event, then it's just going to feel like a shell. Oh, I guess not necessarily a shell, but there will be lacking in depth. But yeah, I love the idea of playable villains.
Like maybe obviously they won't be like a trust event in the same way that we have it with our friends, right? But I think they could still kind of have it a more kind of begrudging trust where they're kind of maybe forced into having to work together on like very small like things here and there, or like at least they encounter each other. I know it's a bit awkward with like the phone and how we have to text them to hang out, but I feel like if they really wanted to, they could definitely kind of like change it around for a few specific villains if they do end up being playable, where maybe rather than texting them to hang out, it's like maybe it's like
Texting to fight.
Hey,
I hate you. Come fight me.
And maybe like they text you to be like, yo, like come here for a sec. And then it's not actually, I don't know.
Right. It's hard. It's hard, right? And it's not like they haven't come up with the system. Because, for example, like S rank Anby, right? She didn't get a trust. It's linked with Anby's trust because it's the same person. So like I get it. But they didn't do like a whole new thing. So it's not like they've never touched on like unique trust things before. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, I think playable villains is sick. I'm glad that Wuwa actually did that. Good for them.
Yeah. And I just am hoping that this becomes like a trend as well in gacha games, because it is really nice to have characters not kind of put into necessarily like boxes of good and bad. Because at the end of the day, obviously, you know, like there are a lot of characters that when they become playable, they do end up having some sort of like justification for them being friendly, which in a lot of cases, I do feel like, you know, can water down their personalities or stories and their actions if they are a villain. So, but I think that having these kind of like difficult characters or difficult topics of surrounding morality and things like that can lead towards like, you know, really intense stories, right? Like we've seen some of the Zenless stories become super, super, you know, insanely intense in their topics and scenarios, and those are the ones that kind of like resonate the most, right? The ones that really impact you emotionally. But the issue is obviously it's like it ends up always being NPC on the other side. So you know, it doesn't, not that it takes away from the story, but it, you know, it's sometimes in a sense it's sometimes, you know, kind of predictable, which is not necessarily bad. At the end of the day, it's a gacha game, you know, it's not going to be like paragon of literature or whatever, but I just think it'd be nice if gacha games can be a bit braver like that and actually make some of their playable characters not completely just likable in every single way.
That's why I'm excited for Damian. Like if Damian is actually playable, because it's going down that route. So 100%. We'll see. There is one final thing that I would like to mention before I am going to have to call it, because I do want to play the TFT mode for a little bit more before I have to go to bed tonight.
Fair. This guy wants practice.
I don't know if you guys saw No, I'm just addicted to it. I just really want to give. I told chat not to tell you. I was playing at the start of this podcast. I was playing it while we were doing. But I was too distracted. I was losing. I was losing. Did they snitch? Anyway, I don't know if you guys went through and actually read the description of the fiend, the miasmic fiend, which was Yizhang.
Yeah.
Yishun's
I
sister.
tried, but I missed it.
It is incredibly long. It is one of the longest descriptions of any enemy because it is quite literally reading out her entire perspective of that entire mission from her POV, which was really, really interesting to see. Yeah, so if you want, actually, I can read it to you.
Please. I was probably not going to do it myself, so.
Okay, here it is. Okay, this is long. Okay. All right. A monster forged from miasma and the memories of a mystic. Every painful, haunting moment now sealed within this chaotic form. It's nothing but an imitation in the end. Never brave enough to rise up. Never decisive enough to disappear without a trace. Yet for its creator, this was sufficient. As a mere pawn, those memories seeped in agony served as potent fuel, enough to turn the hollow upside down and expose all secrets to the world. Thus, driven by memories not its own, the miasma that birthed it made it restless. The approaching ethereals filled it with rage, and even while prowling its own territory, it remained forever uneasy. Only once, when it chased a human to the edge of the hollow and saw the fear on their face, was its hunting instinct unexpectedly overridden by a strange impulse. It came to an involuntary stop, and when that unlucky figure vanished from view, it felt something new, an emotion startlingly close to satisfaction. But that sense of satisfaction didn't last. A group of humans in black armor began intruding into its territory again and again, unfazed by any threat. Agitation and exhaustion slowly wore it down until all it wanted was for everything that moved to disappear, disappear, disappear. And then it says, and quote, "Let's settle this," which is the words from Yishun during the cutscene. Strange. What was that voice? It's deeply connected. The one who tied the knot must be the one to untie it. Again, Yishun's quote. Memories long smothered by madness stirred back to life. Yes, this was the sound, the one that had echoed endlessly in its mind. Though instinct screamed for it to attack, its body hesitated. Its gaze followed the glint of silver hair, so much like its own, desperate to see if the voice belonged to the figure that kept resurfacing in its memory. Distracted, it took a direct hit to its core from behind, the excruciating pain nearly breaking it, yet it still heard that faint whisper. "I'm sorry. I must do this." Though the words made no sense to it, that near satisfying emotion returned. It became aware that something genuinely frightening now had it in its grip. It might die because of it, but it had no intention of fleeing. In the end, its strength was completely spent, but in that final moment, it could finally see her clearly. She wasn't quite the same as in its memories, and that fleeting realization brought a trace of loneliness. But even so, it liked her current self more than the heart-shattering screams of the past. And then there's another quote. The miasmic fiend. Though Ferox's subordinates named it first, this creature's ghostly and vicious nature certainly lives up to its name. We plan to register it as such. What do you think, Yishun and Shifu? Have you heard the ancient saying? A name makes the truth no less unfathomable. A name is just a name. Whatever rolls off the tongue will do. So, interesting, right? It's long, but the fact that they show that, like, there was a slight conclusion there. Like, her sister got to see Yishun of what she is now, and that line kind of goes hard. It liked her current self more than the heart-shattering screams of the past. Because the last time that she would have seen Yishun would be when she was yelling for her to not do what she's doing, which was using the sword. Yeah. Super sick. It would have been cool to, like, have that elsewhere, but at least it was there. You know, I know to me, that was, like, I guess the only thing that brought, like, the point down from the main story was that the Yizhang thing felt really fast. I thought it was going to, like, be a much bigger thing. But that kind of eased it a little bit because at least there was something, right?
Mhm.
Like we got to see her side of that. I'm not completely against lore text like that. I play Destiny, and there's a lot of like Destiny lore books, okay, and that's where you get like most of the lore. But anyway, read those, read the enemy
Read 'em.
descriptions for stuff like that.
Okay.
It's cool because we get to see the perspective of someone who I guess it's obviously basically like full hollow, not full hollow, full ethereal at this point.
Ethereal.
Yeah.
But then you can kind of like see the perspective of like the lingering human emotions and what that might feel like. Because while we can imagine it, from our perspective of sanity, it's nice to
Mhm.
see like the actual kind of thought process of everything
Yeah.
and how it kind of developed as well as stuff happened.
And it's still interesting, I think, because this is the first time that we've really seen from the only time that we've technically got like a smidgen from like an ethereal's perspective, is Twiggy. When Twiggy was passing, she spoke in the ethereal form. She spoke, which is very similar, I think, to here, where she basically had like a moment of clarity, and it basically showed you what she saw, right? She looked up and she saw the two of them, and then it went into that other scene of like all of them by with the big bright background.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's just it's interesting that they're going in a little bit more on like what the ethereals are actually like. They're still there a little bit, which we knew, because the ethereals, they follow their like last big passionate like thought, right? Like for example, Haramasa's master, his last thing was protecting the briefcase, and so as an ethereal, he was protecting the briefcase the entire time.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, it's super sick. And then to answer some of the questions in chat, that is not from the TFT quest. That is literally just the description of the miasmic fiend in the database. Like if you go to the HDD and just go through and like click on the thing, that's the description of it. So
Okay.
yeah, dude.
Hey.
I think it's 100% intentional. They're trying to give us more insight like that, right? Because as we develop the story, the entire point of the Exaltus is that they want to combine humans and ethereals, right? So as like we progress and they're starting to show us more of the perspective of from the ethereal side as well, it's like us as a player, we're also starting to see more of the entire concept of humans and ethereals getting combined in our own heads as well, since we start to see more of both sides. So the Exaltist propaganda is working. It's working.
It is working. Also, yeah, sorry, it's the workbench, not the HDD. I always think of them as the same, but it's a little bit different.
Yeah. Compendium.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
And I'm sure, as we go through the story and, now that we're kind of back a little bit to form, and until age gets better, of course, we'll have so much more to talk about next time.
Yes.
On Dragon Ball Z. So everybody, thank you guys so much for joining today's Proxy Podcast. Let's sound off back again in order as we kind of wrap up here. So.
Well, yeah, thank you guys so much for listening and watching on the YouTube and Spotify and wherever else we might post this. And yeah, 2.1 banger. And I'm Age. Gotcha Gamer, Zenless Enjoyer, Bua Enjoyer, Star Rail, Reverse Enjoyer, Reactioner, I guess new video essayer.
Yeah, let's go. More video essays.
Yeah. And occasional singer as well. So yeah, thanks for watching. You can find me on all of the social media platforms. You search AGEKK and I will pop up. I've also been trying to post more shorts and TikToks lately, so you might be seeing me on Reels, TikTok shorts here and there as well. So yeah, that's me.
Yes, my name is Azrial Vanity. I play Zenless, so that's the only game I play. But I cover the lore on it. If you're interested, there's that. I am also doing, if you're interested in partaking, I am doing a new Q&A thing, which I've done before. But if you go to my YouTube channel and go to my community posts, then you can leave a question like there in that community post, or also on Twitter. If you scroll down, there's a tweet that also says the thing about the Q&A thing. So you'll have a chance. I'm just going to collect like a bunch of handfuls of questions that people have for any of the lore, and then I'm just going to be deep diving into those questions and answering them. So if you'd like a chance to have your question shown in the video, then there you go. There's that. covers Zenless lore. You can find me streaming on Twitch and YouTube. I am doing variety. It's been a little busy lately, but we are doing Expedition 33. So if you're interested in that, then we'll be hopping back on that soon. But yeah, Azrial Vanity on everything.
And to round us off, it's your boy Josh. We're doing a bunch of stuff around ZZZ. Early access to Alice should be soon, if not in the morning for you guys tonight or tomorrow. So keep your head on a swivel. Oh, I've been doing a new series. So Age, you're starting some more essays. I'm starting interviews. And yeah, a couple of you guys have seen that I've been doing interviews with good friends Sam, and the recent episode was Alice, and I'm very, very, very proud and honored to say that August 4th, this upcoming Monday, we are bringing on Kimberly Tierney, the voice actor to Yuzuha. So someone who's a little bit more time relevant. Not that Sam and Alice weren't great; they're amazing, but finally,
chopped. Old news. Amazing.
Yeah, and then other stuff to come. So, yeah.
Goated name, by the way, too, for that series. I do.
Yeah.
I have the Proxy Podcast and the Internet Interviews. Ooh.
I need you to help me name some upcoming stuff.
I'd love to. Yeah. All right. Oh yeah, catch me on Jshoea on socials. There it is.
Yes.
Yeah. You can catch those series on YouTube and everywhere else. So, hey, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Sayonara.
Thank you.
And you'll never hear us again. This is the last podcast.
Yep.
We hate each other, and this is our break the park.
No, not the break the park. Breaking up right before TwitchCon.
Yeah. Oh god. Oh yeah, we're also going to TwitchCon. You'll be able to see us there. All right, bye everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.
I'll be going to TwitchCon. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Let's go.